Remy, there are some stories that make you angry. There are some stories that make you sad. And then there are some stories that just make you wonder whether our nation has completely lost its sense of shame. The death of retired General Rabi Abubakar is one of those stories. Not simply because a retired general of the Nigerian army was kidnapped and died in captivity, but because of the horrifying symbolism of what happened next. According to reports, heavily armed bandits emerged from the forest, handed over the body of our general, and they returned to the forest around Matazu. Let me repeat that. Okay, so Bagbo. The kidnappers allegedly came out of hiding, delivered the corpse of a retired general of our nation, and left without being devastated. I honestly don't know whether to be angry, to be sad, or simply exhausted. A retired general of the Nigerian army, I'm going to keep repeating that, was kidnapped. Not even a politician, not a billionaire, not some obscure villager the government can pretend not to know. A general of our armed forces, retired one, I get it. A man who spent decades serving the Nigerian state and helping to defend this country. Then he died in captivity. That's painful enough. But what happened next is what should make every Nigerian hang his head in shame, including me. Ojuntimi, according to reports, heavily armed bandits came out of the forest, handed over our general's body, and then returned to the neighboring forest as if they own our country. The same people who kidnapped him had enough confidence to come out, deliver his corpse neatly wrapped, hand it over, and leave. Nobody chased them. Nobody intercepted them. Nobody surrounded them. Nobody hunted them. They simply came and went. And our stupid government is issuing press releases. What a country. What an unbelievable humiliation. Internationally. The video is everywhere. The picture is everywhere. If this story had appeared in a movie script, many people would have dismissed it as unrealistic. Yet here we are. And instead of government officials expressing outrage and announcing a massive operation to hunt down those responsible, at least you know the forest they entered, we are hearing explanations that the general died of hypertension and diabetes. How would you tell me? Honestly, what kind of response is that? A man is kidnapped and died while in custody of armed criminals, and the government's concern is to explain to us that he died of natural causes. They are telling us their own general died of diabetes and hypertension while under capture by bandits. Natural causes? Was being kidnapped even natural? Was being held hostage natural? Was being deprived of freedom natural? Was the trauma of captivity natural? Was the fear, the uncertainty, the stress of living at the mercy of armed criminals? Is that one natural? Even if he had underlying conditions, how does that reduce the responsibility of those who captured him or those who kidnapped him? A man who is alive before being kidnapped and dead during captivity did not die in a vacuum. How can our government try to be telling us now that the kidnappers are now suddenly innocent because the victim had hypertension? And frankly, the eagerness with which some officials are trying to explain away the circumstances of his death is maddening. How do they even know what killed him? Autopsy. Did they do an autopsy? Was there a medical examination? Or are we now accepting the testimony of kidnappers as medical evidence? Because Because the more I think about it, the more bizarre it sounds to me. Perhaps what even annoys me more is the endless blame game that this government keeps doing. Every time insecurity gets worse, some stupid government officials will immediately start pointing fingers at the opposition. The opposition did this. Opposition low one there. Opposition sponsored that. The opposition wants to destabilize the country to make the country ungovernable. The opposition is behind the kidnapping. You all need to keep quiet. From Bayo Nonuga to that foul-mouthed Reno mockery, defending nonsense everywhere. If it is true, the opposition is behind it, where are the arrests? After all, you must know them and have the evidence before making such an audacious claim. Where are the names of the opposition doing this? Where are the investigations? Where are the prosecutions? You cannot keep accusing unnamed opposition figures of sponsoring insecurity in your country while failing to arrest or successfully prosecute even one major political actor connected to these crimes. At some point, citizens are entitled to ask whether this is a serious security assessment or simply political excuse-making. It is excuse-making. Emiti decide. The last time I checked, opposition politicians do not command the army. They do not command the Air Force. They do not command the police. They do not control intelligence services. They do not control security budgets. The government does. That is why governments are elected to solve problems. You should know that we're not come to solve the problems. It's not the Walokon to come and be explaining problems. Not to outsource blame for the problems of our nation, to solve it. It is not to spend years pointing fingers while citizens continue to die. What this makes all this even more frustrating for me is that many of the same political forces currently asking Nigerians for patience were among those who relentlessly attacked Jonathan Goodluck over insecurity. I was there, so I know. If this was under Jonathan or even Buhari, we will all be on the streets demanding action from Lagos. I still remember all that protest gathering in Ketu now, in Ikoyi, and all those my Yoruba brothers, including sons and billionaires and Yoruba pastors who are floating at the mouth over subsidy and other crimes under Jonathan. Where are you all now? Ibolewa ẹ̀yin Yoruba mi, láti Èkó, láti Ìjẹ̀bú, láti Ogun State, láti Ọ̀yọ́ State. Where are you now? Because your own brother is there. God bless Pastor Bakare. At least Pastor Bakare is vexing loudly now, despite being a Tinubu man. Much respect to him. Because you cannot say because it's your brother, you are not going to say the truth. But where are the others? Where is Bishop Oyedepo? Where is Daddy Gio, the one man, probably the most singularly powerful man in Nigeria outside government? Where is he? He's the man that could shut down this country if he really cared. Daddy could shut it down if he cared enough about everyone and not just his Redeemed Church. I'm a Redeemed Church member. So, but I will still say to my daddy, it's my daddy too. Back then, Nigerians were told that government had no excuse. Protest. Government had no excuse. Jonathan had no excuse. He must go. Jonathan must go because he cannot deal with simple terrorism. 10 times what happened that Jonathan is happening now. Eida, where are you people? Back then we were told that leadership means taking responsibility. Nobody excused Jonathan. There was opposition that was doing it. Back then, we were told that insecurity was proof of Jonathan's incompetence. But now they don't want to say it's incompetence. They want to say it's opposition. Back then, nobody want to hear explanations about conspiracies, sabotage, or political opponents. We didn't want to hear it from Jonathan's mouth. Our argument then was simple. You are in government, Mr. Jonathan, so you must fix it. That was the standard. That was the message. All over the nation, spearheaded by those of us in Lagos, those of us in the Southwest. That was the basis upon which Nigerians were persuaded to reject the Jonathan government of the day. I'm not a politician. I've never joined any political party, but I was very much on board with that. I campaigned against Jonathan because of that reason. And I didn't care. I was like, he was the president. So why should the standard be different now? Why are we not saying, Tinubu, you are responsible? Why are we not saying that? Why should the standard suddenly change now because we have an Emilio person in government? If insecurity was unacceptable at that time, then it is unacceptable now. If the government was responsible then government is responsible now. If the excuses were rejected at that time, then we must reject the excuses now. The rules cannot change depending on who occupies Aso Rock. That's where I stand. I'm not on any party side. I'm not obedient or disobedient. I don't care. But the standard must be the same. The truth is that ordinary Nigerians are tired. We are tired of press statements. We are tired of these blame games. We are tired of these excuses. We are tired of hearing who is responsible instead of seeing criminals arrested. What you just did, they have chest. They came out in public, they hand over dead body to you, and they all went away. Thank God for Obasanjo. He will have odilized all of them. He will have devastated. I know Obasanjo. Everybody can talk the one they want to talk later. But what are we doing? They handed over. They backed up. They enter forest. And our soldiers are looking at them like mumus. And we are tired of being told that everything is under control, while kidnappers operate with frightening confidence. Listen to me. The death of General Rabi Abubakar is bigger than one man, Oremi. It is a symbol of the helplessness that many Nigerians feel. It is a symbol of a country where criminals increasingly appear fearless, while ordinary citizens increasingly live in fear. And you know what is the most painful image of all for me? A retired general dies in captivity. Armed bandits, they came out to deliver. I don't even know what is so special about that body. They brought the body neatly wrapped. And then the bandits went back into the forest. And our government is discussing hypertension. And Nigerians are left wondering who is really in charge. This is not just a national tragedy. This is national humiliation. And our military now that are supposed to go there and devastate the kidnappers, their leaders are now complaining, they are blaming government for the death of their own general, your own general. Would you tell me? President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I put this blame at your doorstep. I love you, I respect you, but you are the president. This is not about tribe. This is not about the Miloko. You are the president. You need to step up and do your shit. It even read a national address when they kidnapped 46 people in Ogbomoso. Kodao. Babawa, Kodao.